not believe that the fairness doctrine is still an issue. You liberals are acting like a bunch of children. You hear me? Children. Despite all the mediums that you have, newspapers, magazines, TV, movies, FM radio, you liberals are threatened by AM talk radio. Man, that's like Evander Holyfield peeing on himself because a bean landed on him. You're threatened by the very thing you claim to love so much, free speech. Let me tell you something, it ain't freedom of speech if you're going to have the government coming in and dictating how radio is run. And what it says about you liberals is that you are so sorry that you cannot produce a radio show that people want to listen to it, so you go crying to the government about it to force other people to listen to what you have to say. As if your ideology isn't shoved down our throat enough with all the other mediums that you have. Liberals are so afraid of being ruled by the ideology of the religious majority, but fail to see that it's them pushing their ideology onto us. How are we Christian conservatives trying to push our ideology onto you? We don't go to the government telling them that they gotta force Hollywood to make movies from our point of view. The only ones keeping you off the radio airways is yourselves because your ideology sucks. Strip away all the music and the laser beams and the girls with the big boobies tumbling out of their shirts. Strip away all the bling bling and all the other stuff you use to hypnotize the masses. And what people will find underneath is your sorry, unredeeming ideology. Yo, there are just too many of us in America who don't want to end up like that college kid who works at McDonald's. Now let me tell you something about this kid, and this kid represents the liberal mentality. Now this kid works at McDonald's, and I can see how that could suck. But this kid fails to realize that he's in college, which means when he's done, he stands a very good chance of making a very lucrative living. His victim mentality is so deep that he can't even see that he's already digging his way out of the hole that he's in. He's still dependent on somebody to come in and rescue him. I mean, what are you going to college for, man? What's your major? To become a professional victim? Liberals, crybabies. If you're living in your car, that sucks. You're still better off than some people. Put that car to work. I've lived out of my car too. Scratch yourself up some insurance and get yourself a job as a delivery person. I did. I've delivered pizzas, newspaper. I got fired because I sucked at it, but hey, I tried to put my car to work though. Y'all, I know it's hard. I know it is. But it's much harder if you wait for the government to do it for you. And not only that, when you're waiting for the government to do for you, it makes it harder for everybody else. We got liberals always saying that we should look out for our neighbor, and I agree. And the best way to look out for your neighbor is to not be a burden to them. Don't be so selfish as to burden your neighbor as if your neighbor doesn't have things to deal with of their own. That way, if you're pulling your weight and you stumble, your neighbor's got a free hand to help you back up. But once you get back on your feet, your neighbor shouldn't have to hold your hand the rest of the way like you're a baby. Now, real quick, I'd like to apologize to anybody that thinks that I come off as some sort of know-it-all or anything like that. But let me explain something to y'all. If I'm going to do this, I have to show a degree of confidence in what I'm saying. It's not being conceited or arrogant or pompous. I mean, how do you expect me to deliver the message? Should I be like, I think liberals are this, and I think conservatives are that? A teacher, a coach, a public speaker, a preacher doesn't do that. If you can't handle somebody being confident in what they're doing and can't tell the difference between confidence and arrogance, then that's your weakness. That's your problem. The problem is that a lot of you liberals have a very weak integrity and it doesn't take much to fracture you or watch you just melt down. But you can change that. I have hope for you. And of course I got the hater, racist commenters trying to say that I'm only up here chasing after white women. Man, I am not on here chasing after white women. And if you look at my comments a little bit closer, you'd see that it's white women chasing after me. Okay, I may have overstepped my boundaries just a little bit. I am not emailing your shoes back. I was talking to this one liberal who said that the American government should make sure that the American people have a bottom. The government should make sure that no American is homeless and without food. Man, that sounds great, don't it? Do you realize how many people would just sit back and suck off the system if that's the way we were set up? We've got plenty of Americans pretty much doing that already. Works great for the economy, doesn't it? Because no matter what, y'all, somebody has to pay for that bottom. And if you are among those people who are still working and paying for that bottom, I don't care how much you love your job, I don't care how strong your work ethic is, you're going to see those taxes coming up out of your check to pay for that bottom, and you're going to be like, you know what, screw this. You are going to get sick of people. You are going to get sick of these people who are sucking off the system. That system that is sucking off your labor. This ain't no theory, this happens. Russia's a prime example. If the government wants to fix the economy, they need to cut taxes and stop spending money they don't have. You want to know one of the reasons why the government hardly has any money? Because you hardly have any money. Want to know one of the reasons why you hardly have any money? Because the government keeps taking your money and vaporizing it. Evaporative economics, y'all, I'm telling you. Ain't too many places where you see that money being put to good use. Our police, fire department, and military are good examples of our money being put to good use. But as far as the military goes, that kind of stops at the VA, don't it? Our government won't even stretch itself to hook up America's finest with the finest healthcare. So what makes you think that the government's got quality healthcare coming for you? Now in terms of the stimulus, man, I ain't gonna pretend like I understand this whole stimulus thing. See, when they get into talking about things like, if you made this much per year, we're gonna credit this much back to you. Hold on. What do you mean credit back to me? Oh, you mean that money that you shouldn't have been taking from me in the first place? Sure, you can give us that credit if you want to. It ain't gonna go that far since gas prices are going back up. And since you liberals won't let us drill for our own oil, we're always gonna go through that. And as those gas prices go up, everything else is gonna go up with it. So tell me, how far do you think your little stimulus is gonna go? You want a real stimulus plan? You cut taxes, you knock off the crazy spending, and you drill on American soil. It ain't gonna take 10 years to get the oil. You guys said that 10 years ago. Had we done it then, we'd have that oil now. If anything, the main thing that would cause it to take long is you liberals stepping in the way with litigation. Oil will be our cheapest and most efficient way to get our economy back on track. The majority of things that run in our country are already rigged to run on petroleum power. And because plastic and rubber are byproducts of petroleum, that brings down the cost of a lot of other things. You want to bring hospital costs down? Great, so do I. You know how we can do that? Drilling for our own oil will help. Hospitals use a lot of plastic. Now, George Bush is accused of doing stuff that I just don't agree with. You know, the war in Iraq was a lie and stuff like that. That stuff, nah, I've got my own disagreements with him. Bush didn't take it to the environmentalists. He should have told them, y'all need to get your silly behinds out of the way so we can go get that oil. But hey, what's worse than that, y'all, is when you got people who know that we've got plenty of oil here, yet think that we went overseas to make war with somebody else to take theirs. The other thing that George Bush did wrong is they didn't stick tight enough to his fiscal conservatism. And if you're not a fiscal conservative, then you're a fiscal liberal. And we see that that doesn't work out very well. Y'all want to talk about all this money you want to invest in wind and solar energy and whatever. And then on the other side of that, you want to talk about how bad the economy is. So I'm asking you, if we ain't got no money, what money are you talking about putting into wind and solar energy? The country is already ready to run off of petroleum. Just get the oil. Please don't let these liberals tell you that we don't have enough oil. We do. Get that oil. It will play a big part in us getting our economy straight. Then we can get down to business with implementing wind power, solar power, hydrogen. We'd have the money then. Your ideas for alternative energy ain't bad. Just the way you're going about it is. Y'all are talking about cutting off your arm to save your finger. And the finger that you're trying to save is the one that tells the country, F you. Get that oil and nuclear power too. You liberals love Canada and France so much to implement nuclear power. How come we can't? You liberals believe that a nut job like Ahmadinejad should be allowed to have nuclear power, but frown on the U.S. putting nuclear power on the grid? Hey, while I'm thinking about it, I know I'm a little late on doing this, but I wanted to take a minute to congratulate Michael Steele. And congratulations to conservative Republicans, because you're starting to understand that you have to have the right delivery person. What good is your message if you can't deliver it? By picking Michael Steele, you're showing that you're starting to understand that. Oh, I forgot. I can't support Michael Steele because I'm a self-hating black man. Oh, no, but wait. I can support Michael Steele because he's a self-hating black man like me. Now, y'all, if that were really true, I would not be able to see past my so-called hatred for Michael Steele's skin color to have respect for his ideas. And hey, since we're talking about black people, let's talk a little bit about that monkey cartoon. Since liberals insist that black people and monkeys have something to do with each other. I even wore my Paul Frank monkey business shirt for the occasion. Am I mad at the person who wrote that cartoon? No, not really. I'm mad at the people in the black community who would let that stick to them. Here, let me be really politically incorrect. You want to see some people act like monkeys? Go to a punk rock concert. You will see white people in the audience go crazy when the music starts. They will start their mosh pit and run into each other at top speed. Like they will circle each other, breathing through their mouths and just about dragging their knuckles. Stomping around in their Doc Martens. Most of these punks are wannabe anarchists / liberals. I say wannabe anarchists because they hate the government so much but want more government provisions. Now don't get me wrong, y'all, I don't mean to single out anybody and pick on them, because you can find any group of any race that acts like they belong in the jungle. I'm not going to be insulted if some white person tries to tell me I'm a monkey. Shoot, if I'm a monkey, then you're the idiot that thinks I can understand what you're saying. Oh, no, but wait.